Yo, people, we saying it's your boy Muzi13 back with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And this is the Arsenal versus Atletico de Madrid preview in the Champions League, the third match day of the Champions League. So Arsenal are going to this game. You know, they've won the first two games in the Champions League, both 2-0 wins, beating Athletic Club or Athletic Bilbao away from home, and also beating Olympiacos. So this will be the second Spanish opposition we are playing in the Champions League. Hopefully we can make it 3 wins from 3 games. Atletico Madrid coming to this game, having played 2 Champions League games themselves. They lost the first game 3-2. Last minute goal against Liverpool, they conceded. They were down 2-0 that game. They brought it back to 2-2, and then Van Dijk scored in the last minute to make it 3-2. And then they won their second game 5-1 against Frankfurt at home. So yeah, it's been a mixed bag for them. 1 win, 1 loss. In terms of league form, Arsenal sit top of the Premier League. I haven't played 8 games, 6 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Atletico sit 4th in La Liga on 16 points, won 4 games, drawn 4, and lost 1. So a bit of a mixed bag for Atletico's results. Arsenal have really kicked into form after having a shaky start. Based off the tough fixture that Arsenal have had to play, I'd say it's a very respectable return so far. Like, Arsenal have had to play Liverpool at Anfield. We played Newcastle at St. James's Park. We played Manchester City at home. We played Manchester United first game of the season. So there's been a lot of difficult games that Arsenal have had to play. And going to the season, when Arsenal had that fixture list, a lot of people were like, ooh, Arsenal would do well to come out of these set of fixtures with a good amount of points. And they've done that so far. And now this is the somewhat easier part. I wouldn't say easy, because all games in the Premier League are always difficult, but this is somewhat the easier run of fixtures. We got out to a good start, beating Fulham on the weekend 1-0, courtesy of a Leandro Trossard goal, and conceded 0 shots on target. I just have to give praise to the Arsenal defense. This defense is amazing, and Arsenal have had, like, in their history, like, Arsenal have, like, been known for playing nice footy, but we've also been known as having a very solid defense. So it's like, it's almost an Arsenal DNA, like George Graham days, 1-0 to the Arsenal. That's the thing. So going back to that now is just seeing Arsenal have a very solid defense. I'm grateful for it, just because there were those times that Arsenal had to play with the likes of Mustafi, Socrates in the back, and it was just like, it was painful to watch as an Arsenal fan. So I am so thankful that we have a very good defense now. Honestly, I'm not taking it for granted. But anyway, let's go into the preview. In terms of head-to-head, Arsenal played Atletico Madrid twice in competitive matches. This dates back to the 2017-2018 season. We played Atletico Madrid in the Europa League semifinals. We drew the first game at the Emirates 1-1. We were winning that game 1-0 for the majority of the game. They had an early red card. We should probably put that game to bed, but All Black was in a madness. And we conceded a late goal to Griezmann after Koscielny does some stupid clearance. And Griezmann scores, makes it 1-1. And at that point, everyone's looking at, oh, this is a huge opportunity missed. Early red card, couldn't take advantage. And then obviously the second leg in their home, they win 1-0. So failed to take advantage there. I'm hoping Arsenal can correct some of their wrongs dating back to then, and hopefully be Atletico. And that's one thing about this new Champions League format, is that when you're playing teams once, hey, it's a 1 game. It's like your one opportunity. You gotta win. There's no get back, unless maybe you play them in the knockout stages, but there's no get back. So you have to take advantage. You have to win that game, and I'm expecting Arsenal to do that in this game. In terms of predicted lineup, what I would go for this game. Now, I do my predicted lineups based off, it's like a mix of what I think Arteta is going to do and what I want to see, but it's majority what I want to see. But it's nothing wild. It's still going to be a bit of a combination. So my predicted lineup, I'm going to have David Raya on goal, number 1 keeper. You know he's not bringing Kepa in. So Raya on goal, I'm going to have Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Lewis Kelly in the defense. I'm going to bring in Lewis Kelly for Calafiori. Nothing to spike Calafiori. Also had a really good game against Fulham, but I'm thinking similar to what Arteta did for that Olympiacos game, where he brought in Lewis Kelly for Calafiori. I think he's going to do that as well, manage Calafiori's minutes. We also played 2 games for Italy in the international break, and we have a lot of games coming up, so I expect that to be the case. Ideally, I would like Timber to get some rest, but Ben White isn't fully up to speed yet, and I think this Atletico Madrid game is going to be a tough game. So maybe it's a case where you bring Ben White later on to manage Timber's minutes, but that's what I expect. Saliba and Gabriel in defense, no questions asked. You could maybe argue to bring Mosquera in, but I know there's going to be opportunities in the next few games after this to get some rotation. Not necessarily the Palace game of the weekend, but the next week we have Carabao, and then I believe we have Burnley. Like those somewhat easier games. Maybe you can make the rotations then, but I'm going for that defense, very solid. In midfield, I'm going to go with Zubimendi and Marino. Now, I'm tempted because I would ideally go with Zubimendi and Rice, but Zubimendi and Marino, very solid. They've played together in Sociedad. They played together when they're doing an international break for Spain. They have a very good partnership, and I feel like Rice also needs a break. I do want to see some rotation. I don't want to see wholesale changes, but I want to see some rotation. So I would bring Rice out for this game and bring Zubimendi and Marino to play that midfield. Giving Rice some minutes off. Probably bring him on the second half, depending on how the game goes. But that would be my midfield. Ahead of them, I'm going to have Eze in the 10. Odegaard still out to November, and I expect to see Eze in the 10. I don't think Nwaneri is going to play. However, I do expect Nwaneri to hopefully get some minutes later on this game. We can maybe even bring him on for one of the wingers later on. But I'm going to have Eze in the 10. I'm going to have Martinelli on the left. I'll bring him in for Trossard, who had an all right game against Fulham. Who wasn't the best, but he ended up getting the winner. So, he can get those crucial goals. So I'm going to have Trossard on the left. I'm going to have Saka on the right. Absolutely outstanding performance against Fulham. Cannot complain. This guy's really starting to hit gear now, like going up levels, and he was amazing. So Saka on the right, and up top Victor Gyökeres. And I'm really hoping that this is the game he breaks his goal drought. Had some opportunities against Fulham. Maybe he could have done better for maybe one or two of them, but overall, he had some opportunities. I would like to see us continue creating chances for him so he can, hopefully start taking some of them. But yeah, that would be my lineup. I would have Victor Gyökeres up top, and hopefully he can get a goal. Score prediction. I'm going to go for an Arsenal 2-1 win against Atletico de Madrid. Atletico have been really good, but Arsenal being at home at the Emirates and just seeing how solid we've been this season so far, I do expect us to get the win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. Very funny that I'm predicting us conceding goals, considering how we don't concede. But it's the Champions League. It's a tough team. They also have some very good players. They have Julian Alvarez, who's on form. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I'm going to go from goals from Victor Gyökeres and Saka, and I'm going to go for an Alvarez goal on their side. So yeah, that's the predicted lineup. That's what I think about the game. I'm hoping Arsenal can win and continue in this rich vein of form. I believe now we've won 5 games in all competitions we've won. I'm not sure, but I know we've won like a good amount. So I'm hoping we can continue that. Hopefully beat Atletico Madrid and then go into the weekend and hopefully beat Palace as well. So yeah, that is pretty much it. What do you guys think? Any changes you would make to that predicted lineup? I'm interested, so leave it in the comments below. But make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Moisey13. I'm going to see you guys for the post-match reaction for the Arsenal-Atletico Madrid Champions League game tomorrow. But yeah, until then, signing out. Peace.